Hey, how we doing? Not my usual intro, is it? Um, just doing a quick video recap. If you haven't seen it, I ran my Primer Artifact Takin for the first time out on trails. I've run around a little bit here and there in the yard, but it was its first trail run. So just wanted to recap my thoughts, my impressions, and let you know why it's a good truck, a great truck actually, and it may fit into your stable. As a builder, creator, if you want to do something unique that nobody's seen before, this is definitely the truck for that. So let's kind of walk through my thoughts and what I did to the truck to make it my own and make it unique, because this is, quite frankly, a truck for personalization at its best. You can make it anything you want to make it in. And for a printed truck, this is fantastic. They did a really good job. It's well thought out. The assembly is really great. Maybe some of the hardware choices or amounts that they give you are a little off, but that was my take on it. I think I had the first production truck. I know I was the first one to order from their website. So, they got some growing pains to go through to get to delivery of a perfect kit and a perfect set of instructions. So, but that's something that companies grow with time, and this is new to them. So, anyway, let's get to it. Let me flip you around here so you can see what I see. Hopefully this will work. There we go. So, I'm going to take my phone mount off the roof. So, this is the truck. I got to slide back to get it full frame in here. But, so, pretty much, I went through and detailed it. Yep, it's still dirty. I like the dirty look on these trucks. But I built this basically twice. The first time I tried to put rift axles on it, and while it worked, there was some sacrifices, and I wasn't willing to continue down that road, so I went with the axles that they recommend for it, which are basically a portal axle. It's kind of a hybrid between an AR60 and not an AR60, so it's a Amazon style axle. It's cheap China. So you definitely have to make sure that you go through and refine a few things. Make sure everything's thread locked, everything's greased, check the bearings. There's still a little clearance issues. I'd like a better axle for it, but this is what it's got. But I mean, it works, right? You saw the video. It drives just fine. And I am running a Reefs, you can see it up there, 777 direct power, because it needs it. Bigger tire trucks, especially this long wheelbase, you definitely need some steering servo that you can count on. I went with the same cut-to-length drive shafts that they recommended. Let's see if I can flip this bad boy on its side here. There you go. So yeah, they're cut-to-length drive shafts. Make sure you cut the right side. This side is splined. The other side that comes in here is the side that you cut off of these measured drive shafts. But yeah, they're cut to fit and they work fine. Again, it's an Amazon thing, so you can see, U-joint quality is, it is what it is. A little brassy U-joint in there, but they do the job. They transfer power. They didn't fail, so there's that. The trailing arms are nice, even though there's no shock in them. They do tend to twist a little bit more than I like, so I'll probably put some locks or do a better job of thread locking to keep the trailing arms, front and rear, leading arms, trailing arms in check. But you can tell from the belly, that it took some scrapes. It's a long wheelbase, so it's going to get kind of scraped up in the center. But as a printed part, this is SLS nylon. As a printed part, it held up really well. I mean, there's no gouges or anything. And I ran it over rocks. You can see the marks on the axles. It hit some rocks, but it's good. Definitely tough. I'm really pleased about that. The motor and the transmission in this is what they called for. Yeah, so motor in this truck is a Fusion Pro. Now, before you freak out, Fusion Pro is like eating at McDonald's. You have to remember why you don't eat at McDonald's. I'm a Castle guy. I like my Castles. I like my Slates. I like my Mamba X's. But their recommendation, again, building a truck to their recommendation. So their recommended motor for this is a Fusion Pro. This is the 2300 variety. I'm not a huge fan of the torque delivery of these motors and the adjustability of them. I don't like it at all. I think they could do better. They haven't done better. And I'll leave it at that. I prefer my Castles, but this is what it is. And during the drive, I had some drag brake once and needs that weren't delivered, but it is easy. It fits in. The truck is designed for that system down to the push button on the dash for the power switch. So is what it is. That's what I got. That's what I did. So yeah, moving on. Let me flip this thing back over. Oh, it's so heavy. I did put a spot of E6000 on the roof panels. The magnets that go in here aren't super strong for that size, and they do pop out, and it aggravated me. So I just put little dabs of E6000 in there just to kind of lock them down, and I'm good with that. Driver compartment. So as you can see, the dash is all in there. The doors open up super easy. It's a great little latching system that they put in there. I put a little metal plate in where the battery goes down in there, and it's just a simple bent piece of aluminum with some magnets on it, and it covers the battery up. It does the job, and kind of just slips right back into position, so it's got a better look inside. But anywho, scale driver. So I did play around with scale driver, and I think I settled on, sorry about that. I settled in on a CJ7 scale maquette, and this one I printed at 90% size and fits in there pretty good. So I haven't painted them up yet or anything like that, but you can put a scale driver. 90% of the CJ7 driver is a really good fit for this truck. I'll try and jam him in there if I can. I did bend his, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. It's the 95%. Yeah. 95%. And I know that because I had to put a little heat to the PLA and push his foot over a little bit to fit in that tight little footwell. So it's 95%, not 90. 90 is for a different truck. So yeah, I'm a junkie. So I print scale drivers. But yeah, 95%, little leg bend, he fits in. His hands fit on the steering wheel pretty good. I got him in first layer of primer, so I'll get to painting him before too long. The livery on this truck, I went with Warhammer 40K. So you can see the little gold accents, the Warhammer Commander flag, the skull, the Ultramarine logo. commander tag on the back. And on the back, while I'm back here, this on our Facebook group, Mr. Davies designed a rear bumper for this that kind of fits in and makes it kind of look a little more complete. I'm not a spare tire guy, so didn't want spare tire. I may do a bed cover at some point and a landing pad for a drone, but yeah, that's a nice little addition. If you get one and you need one, hit the Facebook group up and I'm sure we'll get you hooked up. But you might be noticing the sway bar. So the sway bar on here, just took some liberties. These are some thread-in inserts for, I believe, shackles. They're 3mm off of Amazon, 3mm thread. Thread them in, made some pipe to cover the sway bar and space it correctly, and mounted a sway bar because it's long and it needs it. So for the sway bar mount, I used the up to the chassis, used the lower shock hole as that mount, and then shocks are in the upper hole. Shocks on this are a combination. So there's Proline scalers up front, and these are Pitbull RC friction, whatever, shocks in the back, single spring, and they do the job. They suspend it, so suspension check. Otherwise, that's pretty much it on the livery, and that's why it's, you know, this is like a concrete wash type thing to kind of tone the coloring down. I did paint it blue all the way around. I forgot to take off the decal or the paint mask on this window, but it does have the same iridium under here, but kind of looks cool with that on there, so I'm going to leave it for now. Winch, just a scale winch. This is the wrong winch for this bumper. They have a different bumper for this scale winch that mounts the winch down here, but I didn't have it, so I just put this one up here. It looks a little funky, but hey, it is what it is. This winch mount, or this bumper mount, is for like an internal spool. IS 300 or 800 from Reefs would fit in there perfectly and line up with the Fairlead. So there's that. For lights, I did wire up the lights, so all the lights are in. I chose to run the yellow lens. They give you clear and yellow for either of these. So I ran a yellow lens with a warm white bulb, which gives it a green effect. And the lower lights are ambers, which through the clear lens gives you amber. In the light bar up top, you can see it in there, is a 3mm thick COB light strip that you cut the length, and it's white, 4K, I think, whiteness. So it hides up in this cavity really well. They do sell a light bar set that fits in the front and the rear, but I just put my own in there and wired it up, and it works, and it's perfectly fine for this. So yeah, let's see, what could I make better? I don't love the axles. Not a fan of them. I wish they were more of a specific, you know, made for this vehicle axle instead of an off-the-shelf Amazon unit. If Primer, if you're listening, get with a manufacturer like Trio or somebody to make you a proper machined, tight tolerance, bearings, good axle. Or Axial, if you're listening, I think the Helaman axles could fit under this. So maybe Axial send me some Helaman front axles and I'll have four-wheel steer. And I think that would give me the width and the size of this thing, because capers are too small, riffs are about right, but they're still not portal, and it gives problems. So maybe heal them on. Maybe that's the ticket for these going forward. And I'll try and reach out and see if I get some. You never know. Wheels are Amazon specials again. I just painted. They were ugly. They were supposed to be gold. They came in, they were orange. So I just painted them, and kind of fits livery. I think they look decent. Tires are the Mickey T's, the Baja Pros. I love them. They are perfect for this truck. When I bought this truck, the tires that they sell, tires and wheels, weren't available yet. So I didn't get them on initial. I didn't go back and buy them. These were actually about the same price as their tire, but it's the same size. It's just different. And I like the Mickey T's on it. I think it looks good. But, yep, I've rambled on long enough. If there's more you want to know about the Primer Artifact Takin, let me know. Hit me up in the comments or join the Facebook group and see what other people are doing with theirs. And, yeah, we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. And appreciate you guys, all your support. And we'll go over another truck here before too long. Thanks.